Well, the City of Johannesburg says it's starting a debt rehabilitation program. People who qualify it could have about half of their debt that they owe to the city written off. So if you live in the City of Joburg, you owe a particular amount of money, you may not have to pay all of it. Cllr Matshidiso Mfikoe is the member of the Mayoral Committee for Finance in the City of Joburg. Councillor, good afternoon to you and thank you for your time. How does this scheme work?
Good afternoon, Stephen, and to your viewers also. The scheme is meant to assist communities that have not been able to pay their bills within the past 90 days as a result of them having been dealt with by COVID. So we're looking at properties that are owed, which are their value should be less than 1.5 million. Of course, you have to apply, and then the teams will go through the applications and make sure for real that Stephen and Matshidiso are not really employed or suffered a particular knock during the COVID pandemic lockdowns, and they are not able to satisfy their requirement to pay for the services. So that is what we're going to do. We had opened it, the process, it closed in July, but we realized that there is no uptake or enough uptake. By the time we went to council last week, we had about 13,000 applicants on the program. So we asked council to allow us to extend so that we can have more people applying to get the relief. So we are encouraging our communities, residents and businesses that are less than 1.5 million as per their properties to take up the offer.
So just so that I understand this is people who could have used, lights and water from the city who aren't able to pay for it, and they'll have half that debt written off if they qualify.
Yes, once you've applied and we have assessed that for real, this customer is not paying, is not working, or their income has been affected by COVID, then we are going to write off immediately after approval your 50%. Then the remainder of the 50% will write off over a period of 3 years. We're going to look at the 3 years so that there is ongoing engagement, ongoing assessment, so that when we feel, or you say to us, your financial situation has improved, then we can take you off of the program. So 50% at a go is going to be written off.
Okay. Do you know how many people are in this position and how much they might owe? You spoke about 13,000. The point I'm trying to get to is that you must be able to predict how much money this is going to cost the city.
Look, we're looking at about 470 million money that we will be able to write off. And now we're sitting at about 118 million that we are able to write off. So we are actually encouraging people. I wouldn't be able to give you a definite figure because we're dependent on the applications of people who are going to come through. We're also taking a report to the Executive Mayor, Stephen, that is going to look at about 7,000 properties that are where parents who passed on have left their children, and the homes are now what we call child-headed homes, including pensioners that are not able to pay for the services, so that if the Executive Mayor agrees, then we will duly write off all of their debts because we need to sort out our debtors book. It doesn't really look good because we have these properties that we have seen over a period of time, people not being able to pay, and it's children that are left with the houses by their late parents. So sure. That is part of what we're going to come through with very soon.
So, Councillor, this is quite strange, but on the one side, I don't see how anyone could argue with what you're doing. So many people have lost income during this pandemic, so many people are in a difficult time. But can the City of Joburg really just write off 400 million rand like that? The City of Joburg has its own financial problems, had them for a while.
Look, we're improving our collections. For Q4 that we are reporting on now, we have improved our collection rates tremendously. We have surpassed the target. But, Stephen, it doesn't help the city in staying with a debtors book where people are saying you are not able to pay, but we still bill them and expecting to continue collecting when they are saying to us we are not able to pay. Rather come with this measure that is going to assist them, and we are sorting out our debtors book also. We're just hoping that, Stephen, people that are going to apply would be people that are honest, who are going to engage with us truly, that they don't hide behind the elderly, they don't hide behind the child-headed homes, when in actual fact they are able to. Hence, the assessment will have to be very strict, so that the actual people that we want to benefit out of the program do indeed benefit.
Councillor, excuse me, why are you doing this now? And I ask this specifically, I'm afraid, with my cynical hat on. Why are you doing this just before an election?
It is not an electional employ, Stephen, so that to remove that from the table. We are saying our debtors book continues increasing. People are not able to pay. You know, we are extending a program that was agreed by the mayoral committee before the late mayor passed on, because we had realized the impact of COVID to our communities. So it's not an election ploy. We want to assist communities so that they continue receiving the services that they need to get from the city. We don't want a person that will be switched off because their electricity, switch off electricity because they couldn't pay, when we are saying we can be able to assist them. You know, so let's look at the city assisting its residents and remove all the politicking out of this. It has nothing to do with politics, but providing relief, much needed relief to our communities.
So, I mean, I get that, but I mean, it still presents you with problems down the line. 400 million rand in a city that can't fix its own roads, can't keep robots running most of the time. I mean, it might be worth taking some of that money and helping out people in certain areas who can't pay their electricity bills. I'm thinking certain areas in Soweto, for example. I mean, I appreciate the generosity. I just think it's a lot of money to perhaps be giving away.
And we're not going to be able to collect it, Stephen. We can pack it on people's bills. It is going to increase and increase and increase. So if we leave it, it's going to increase. Then we are not going to be able to do what you are saying we need to do with the money, you know, because it's going to be sitting on somebody's bill who can be able to pay it, you know. Unlike us saying the bill, the debt must accumulate, let us remove it and ensure that we put in measures that are going to assist us not to go back to us having accumulated those bills. You know, I do hear your point. Why cut off when you can use? But there is nothing to use because it's sitting on somebody's bill who continues to consume services of the city and saying, I can't afford to pay them.
So 13,000 people took up the program last time. Are you optimistic a lot more people will take it up now? I mean, I presume that's one of the interviews you agreed to, one of the reasons you agreed to the interview. You need to publicize it as much as possible, I suppose.
Yes, definitely, definitely. And I appreciate the opportunity that you guys are giving us so that through this medium and other radio stations, we are able to reach out to our communities, still imploring them to come through, including using social media. And I was saying earlier on that if COVID regulations allow us, we could do some town hall activities as well, so that we mobilize communities to come through. So this engagement with you is highly appreciated because it does contribute in us sending the message of our communities to come. They must go to the customer services offices where the forms are there, where they will be assisted as well. Then they can also log into the city's website where they can get assistance there.
Cllr Matshidiso Mfikoe, the member of the Mayoral Committee for Finance in the City of Joburg. Ma'am, I do appreciate the time. Thank you.